Hello, my name is Ngozi Wanji, and I'm with Blavity's AfroTech. Today I'll be speaking with Ashley Bell, a corporate finance attorney and the former White House policy advisor for entrepreneurship and innovation, and Dr. Bernice A. King, a global thought leader and the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Our special guest will be speaking about their fintech platform, Ready Life. With its upcoming launch in the fall, the platform aims to disrupt the traditional mortgage lending industry and aid in wealth building for the Black community. Hello, my name is Ngozi Wanji, and I'm from Blavity's AfroTech. And Dr. King and Ashley, how are you both feeling today?
Good, good. Thank you for having us.
Good. Of course, of course. I'm excited to be speaking about Ready Life. And, starting with you, Ashley, the both of you have worked together for the National Black Bank Foundation already. But when was the exact moment where you two came together to like start putting together Ready Life?
I kind of start off here. I think that, this has been a journey that you're right, goes back to the National Black Bank Foundation and our work to support Black-owned financial institutions. And I think it's just been a running conversation with Bernice and I about how can we do more. And I think her legacy is an individual leader in our city and around our country and around our world, focusing on the least, the last, and the left behind, has really, empowered her to really step into this space. And so I've just been fortunate to have her leadership and friendship. And when we thought about, what could be next, how do we prepare for the future, dealing with the current crisis with black banks now, but also thinking about what does the black bank of the future looks like? What does lending look like in the future? This just seemed like a natural evolution of that journey and that discussion.
Yes, because even when I was thinking about it, I'm like, it definitely sounds like an organic connection and a way to just continue, to grow toward the mission that you guys have. And last year, Dr. King, you joined MBBF's board of directors. But how would you say that that experience has prepared you for this pivot into fintech?
Well, it seemed like a natural segue to me because black banks uh, are positioned to really help to chip away at the racial wealth gap. And so, when we think about one of the areas that our community really suffers from, it has a lot to do with the ability to get financing for a mortgage, to qualify for a mortgage. And so it's hard to build generational wealth. And so this seemed like a natural segue if we're talking about really helping to economically empower the black community for generations.
No, definitely. And a part of the way that people today are trying to get to that generational wealth is through cryptocurrency. And, Ready Life taps into that. But I know that with Ready Life, you guys are adamant about, properly educating people about that. So I was interested to know, Ashley, like, what exactly does that process look like? Or, like, what do those resources, like, look like? Like, what does it entail?
What's important about what we're doing with Ready Life is, we're not accepting the status quo as good enough, and we are trying to reinvent and reimagine what access to credit can look like, should look like. Credit is like water. For every community in our country, for places where credit flows, you see opportunity grow. Places that don't have access to credit, things don't grow, opportunity can't grow. So we're trying to figure out a way of creating new pathways to that opportunity through changing how we think someone is eligible to own a home. 60%, almost 60% of our people go to bed every night under a roof that they don't own. And that is what creates a lot of the ills that we have living in communities that we don't own. This gives us a chance to say, look, if you pay your rent on time and that payment could be the same as your mortgage payment, then we should give you an opportunity to have a mortgage so you can create wealth for your family.
Yeah, it's so important, just for more people to have the opportunity to be homeowners. Some people just feel as though like it's not possible for them, but platforms like this show them that you can, there is a path for you to get there, and that support that they need in the process.
And I think this is a good opportunity too, to lean into Dr. King's legacy and history here with her own family. And Dr. King, you want to talk a little bit about, just your own parents when they first bought a home and some of the challenges that we've seen for a long time. So this isn't a new problem.
Yeah, yeah. In the situation with my parents, I don't think it was as much about not being able to qualify for a home, but they were late homeowners. Let me just say that they rented. Probably a lot of people didn't know that my parents rented until 1966. At that time, my father would have been about 36 years of age. And so this gives us an opportunity to ensure that, coming out of college even, young people can qualify to own a home. Because, when you're just, coming out of college, you haven't necessarily established your credit history. And so this is an opportunity to start off even on our platform and at the same time begin the process of building generational wealth. And so I think that's so important. The other thing I wanted to mention, Ashley, and if you could just talk a little bit about this, this is not just about getting people into homes. It's also about educating them as well, because, a lot of people may be able to get a home even the traditional way, but many people lose it because they just don't have the necessary education so they know how to, continue to keep that home. And so can you?
And I think, and exactly to your point, what we would love to see happen is to decrease the average age of the home buyer. We want kids who, as soon as you get out of college, to be thinking about buying that first home. So when you're the age of Dr. King and Coretta Scott King, then that could be your third home that you bought and sold, and that equity that you bought when you were 25, you sold that house and rolled it into another and another. And that's what creating wealth is about. And that's by having that asset on your books so that you're a third time homeowner in your 30s instead of first. And that's the goal. But to get there, to believe that that's possible, you have to be educated on what that process looks like. You have to understand what that value proposition is. But then we also want to help you, think through all the things that happen when you become a homeowner. I fundamentally believe that it's good for our democracy to have good homeowners. You vote different when you have a home. If you think about it, the biggest contributor to education across our country is property taxes. So if 60% of black people aren't paying property taxes because we rent, then it gives a less of a reason for them to think about those down ballot races like school board and all the other things that happen. By putting us in a position to own those homes and to care about them and to increase that value so we can fund our school system, we can fund all the fundamental needs of our community, it makes us better participants in our democracy. But also we want to educate people on what it means to keep a home. And I think that's huge because we have a lot of people that used to own a home, but because of 2007, 2008, they think it can't happen again. So many times Ready Life is for that second chance, for somebody who's looking to get back into the homeowner space because they may have made a mistake in the past. And that's really why we really lean into not only former homeowners, but, Van Jones is on our advisory board, and Van's done incredible work with helping reentry, people who were formerly incarcerated, get back out and figure out how to start over and gain access to the full complement of our economy. That has to have a home in that equation. And so we're really being intentional about letting folks know when they get out of former incarceration that, nobody paid your bills while you were locked up. So your credit either doesn't exist or it's bad. So this is an opportunity to start fresh, to get a fresh start. And we think we can provide that opportunity in a way that hasn't been seen in the marketplace, especially we want to be, leading in this industry, but we think it's special that it's a black-owned fintech that's leading in this industry and not, us trying to copy what someone else is doing.
Exactly, most definitely. I love how the platform is reaching across all backgrounds, like how you were saying, from young people to people re-entering. It's definitely necessary to be able to reach different people. Dr. King, you've been vocal about how this platform is an extension of your father's legacy. As an advisory board chair, do you feel as though you were able to pick any specific inspiration from his leadership of how you believe the platform should go about its outreach strategy?
I'm not sure about that. I can say that a lot of people don't know that my father even had an economic platform. They talk about him in terms of civil rights, racial issues, but not about economic issues. During the, I would say, I won't say the last part of his life because it almost seems like he was at the last part when his life was really cut short. But the last, I guess, 3 years, 4 years really, he started looking at how do we increase the economic standing of the black community. And they created an arm of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference called Operation Breadbasket. And Operation Breadbasket did two things. It called on corporations to hire more blacks, promote more blacks, and then finally to do business with black banks because of their black consumers in those communities where black banks existed at that time. And the last speech that he gave publicly in Memphis, Tennessee, at the Mason Temple, he called on the black community in particular to do a bank in, to remove your money from the downtown banks. That was, those majority white banks, and put it in the black banks, because he understood that we have to build wealth. It was one thing to be able to get in the restaurant. It's another thing to be able to own the restaurant. And he clearly understood that. And so it was about, elevating the thinking of everyday people, because that's really what we're trying to do. This is not for the elite. This is really about reaching the people who just don't get these opportunities that are out there. We're giving access now. People talk about opportunity. There are a lot of opportunities, but the problem is people don't have access because of things like you have to have a certain credit score, because of things like, I don't have enough money for a down payment. And so we're trying to be creative in ensuring that we can meet people right there in those areas that often are the thing that makes the difference between those who are able to build economic stability and those that aren't.
Yeah, and that support is definitely needed. So I love seeing how that mission is able to continue, like across from after all those years. How it is for today to continue. And with questions flying around of like a possible recession on the horizon, how do you both hope that Ready Life can help to combat that fear for people that are looking to purchase their first home?
You know, um, right now, we're definitely focused on our launch that's going to be this fall. People are joining our wait list now. The app's going to be live in October. Really excited about giving people the opportunity to have hope. A lot of people are worried about the markets right now, with inflation going up, with interest rates going up. Ready is primed to be a place where people can go to get access to money to buy a home that's not affected by federal interest rate hikes. These are private equity backed mortgages. So we aren't going to traditional banks to get the money, which means that when the Fed raises rates, that doesn't affect us. And so we have the ability to be extraordinarily competitive in a way that nobody else can, because we have a different source of our funds to get people access. And I think that's what's going to make Ready more needed during a recession than it would be otherwise, because we have access to cheaper cash.
And how about you, Dr. King? If you had anything to add, possibly.
No, no, I don't have anything to add. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, no problem, no problem. But lastly for you guys, so the fall is right around the corner, which means that your launch is coming. So what are you both most excited for with the launch?
I've been bugging Dr. King's staff about all the stuff we're doing OBC in Miami. We're really excited about being able to be the presenting sponsor for the Orange Blossom Classic, Florida A&M versus Jackson State. America loves their football. When you watch football, this big kickoff weekend during Labor Day, you're going to see over 60 games, but there'll only be one black business that is sponsoring one of those games. This idea came to me when my son was watching last year, and he asked me, he said, Dad, he plays football. He said, Dad, which one of these companies during the commercials was black owned? I couldn't name one. And it was hard for me to explain that 90% of the people on the field look like him, but 0% of the companies that were making money off of that talent were owned by people that look like him. And so this gives us an opportunity. And I think, Dr. King has been really influential in helping us through the Black Bank Foundation really lean into sports and entertainment. And this is a continuation of that. For those industries that make money off of black bodies and black talent, we have to find a way of being a part of how that dollar is circulated and bringing it back to our community. And this is an opportunity for us to celebrate two great institutions. This is an opportunity for us to have our first national television ad is going to be on ESPN that weekend featuring Dr. King. And I think it just gives us a chance to speak directly to our people that we have invented something different, a new pathway and a new hope, a new opportunity for people to create generational wealth. And we're doing it through everyday actions. We're not asking you to do anything differently. Use Ready for your everyday needs. You'll have a debit card, you'll have our online platform. Just do what you do every day, but do it with people from your community, and we can find a new pathway for you to own a home and to create wealth for your family.
I'm just excited that it's happening, that we're going to be launching, and that lives are going to be changed. That people who've had dreams, of even starting their own business, will now be positioned because they're a homeowner to get the capital that they need to launch those businesses. The number of families, the number of, should I say, the number of people that we will interrupt generational poverty in. I mean, that is going to be extraordinary because we're going to have first time homeowners, and these people are saying this has never happened in my family. So I'm excited about the change and the transformation that's going to happen in the lives of individual people, but what it's going to do overall for the Black community, and uplift us and position us better to really be more competitive in the marketplace.
And I want to lean in here just a little bit more, just to highlight the fact that, using a debit card primarily is the worst thing you can do to build credit. Like it's not really helpful. Most banks may give you like 1% back, but this is the only debit that will build you credit. It is the only debit card you can put in your wallet or your purse and say, by using this debit card, by using my cash, I'm actually affording myself credit, because our entire underwriting system is not using credit scores. It's using your ability to pay for your home, to pay your rent, to look at your spending patterns. That is how we underwrite. So it gives people a chance by doing what they do every day. And then for all of our crypto enthusiasts, this is built on blockchain technology. So everyone that holds Ethereum, that holds Bitcoin, you can hold your crypto in our wallet. And as we evolve, part two of our app will be we're going to be lending. We're going to be lending based off of crypto assets as well. So if you have crypto assets and you're looking to leverage that to get cash, to start a business, to do whatever you think needs to be done to benefit you and your family, we're going to be able to do that. So we're going to the core of what traditional financial services looks like, but we're also meeting the next generation's needs. We believe if you're going to create something for the future, it's got to be built off the technology of the future. And we're the
Right.
only leading Black-owned fintech that is built off the technology needed to be ready for the future for all of our folks.
And I'm really excited to see the impact that comes from this platform. The launch is right around the corner, as I said. And just thank you so much, Dr. King and Ashley, for your time today and, sharing more insight with me about this. So thank you.
Well,
Thank
look,
you.
please visit us at readylife.com. Get on our wait list. We look forward to having you a part of the Ready neighborhood.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
both.
you.